When you hear the name Jackie Robinson, you probably think of one number, a legendary number. But the story of the man, wow. His courage was forged way, way before he ever set foot on a major league diamond. And that's the story we're getting into. 42. Just think about that. It's the only number retired across an entire professional sport. It's a symbol for way more than just a player. I mean, it represents this huge seismic shift in American society. But to really get why it's so important, you've got to understand the incredible journey of Jack Roosevelt Robinson. See, before he was this global icon, he was a son, a brother, a student, a soldier. And his refusal to just sit back and take injustice, that was a core part of who he was, defined years before the world even knew his name for baseball. I mean, just look at this athletic brilliance. At UCLA, the guy was an absolute legend. He was the very first athlete in the school's history to get varsity letters in count 'em, four different sports. Star running back in football, a key guard in basketball, an NCAA champion in the long jump. And here's the kicker, the part that's just wild to me. Baseball, the sport that would make him immortal? Yeah, everyone kind of thought that was his worst sport. But as gifted as he was on the field or on the court, all of that paled in comparison to the real fight he was facing every single day. His character was put to the test long before baseball ever came knocking. We're talking 1944. That's a full 11 years before Rosa Parks made her famous stand. Second Lieutenant Jackie Robinson gets arrested and court-martialed. And for what? For refusing to move to the back of a segregated Army bus. He just wouldn't do it. He stood his ground, argued his case, and you know what? He was acquitted by an all-white panel of 9 officers. This moment is so crucial because it shows that this demand for basic human dignity, it was just wired into his very core. And it was exactly that kind of strength, that unwavering character that caught the eye of a man who was looking to change the face of America's pastime, literally forever. That man was Branch Rickey, the president of the Brooklyn Dodgers. And Rickey knew that breaking the color line would unleash this absolute storm of hatred. So he wasn't just looking for the best player on the field, he needed the right man for the job. In this now legendary 3-hour meeting, he was brutally honest with Robinson. He told him, I need a man with the guts not to fight back. This whole plan, they called it the Noble Experiment. And it was a massive gamble. It was designed to end nearly 60 years of segregation that had kept incredible black players stuck in the Negro Leagues. The weight of all that history, it was all about to fall right onto one man's shoulders. And then the day came. April 15, 1947. Jackie Robinson jogs out to first base for the Brooklyn Dodgers. And with that one simple act, the game, and really the country, were changed for good. But man, that first season was just brutal. I mean, he endured this constant storm of abuse, vicious slurs being screamed from the other dugout, players threatening to strike rather than play against him, and some deliberately rough, dangerous play on the field. Yet, for all that hate, there were these little glimmers of hope, these critical moments. His teammate Pee-wee Reese famously walking over and putting an arm around his shoulder to shut up a hostile crowd. A rival star, Hank Greenberg, whispering some encouragement after a collision. These small acts of decency, they were like lifelines in a sea of pure hostility. So, while he kept his promise to Branch Rickey not to fight back with his fists, he fought back with something way more powerful, his unbelievable talent. Just take a look at this resume. He wasn't just some symbol. He was a dominant, incredible player. Rookie of the Year in his first season, an MVP award, 6 All-Star selections, a batting title, and of course, a World Series champion. He proved beyond any shadow of a doubt that he belonged. He wasn't just good enough, he was one of the absolute best to ever play the game. And his impact was immediate. In that pressure cooker of a first season, 1947, he was so undeniably great that Major League Baseball actually created a brand new honor just for him, the first ever Rookie of the Year award. Yeah, they literally invented it because of him. That's how good he was. But for Jackie, the final out of his baseball career wasn't the end of the story. Not by a long shot. It was really just the start of a whole new chapter in his fight for equality. And this quote really gets to the very heart of everything he stood for. It was never just about being allowed to play a game. It was about being seen and respected as a human being. So after he hung up his cleats, he just kept on breaking barriers. He became the first black vice president of a major American corporation. He helped found a black-owned bank in Harlem. He was on the board of the NAACP, working right alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He used his fame not for himself, but to keep pushing, to keep fighting that same fight he started on the baseball diamond. Which brings us all the way back to that number, 42, and how it came to symbolize so much more than just one amazing man. You know, his legacy was cemented over decades. First, he gets into the Hall of Fame, of course. Then the Dodgers retire his number. But then, in 1997, on the 50th anniversary of his debut, Major League Baseball did something that had never, ever been done before. They retired number 42 across every single team. And now, every April 15th, every single player in the league wears that number to honor him. And that's why 42 is so much more than a retired number. It's this permanent, league-wide reminder of the courage it took to stand against hate, the sheer excellence it took to silence all the doubt, and the dignity it took to help change a nation. It really makes you think, right? You always hear that saying, one person can't change the world. But when you look at the story of Jackie Robinson, the man behind the number, it proves that sometimes with enough guts, enough talent, and enough character, maybe one person actually can.